Hey, I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And this is Cripples. All right, let's go. Oh, by the way, I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And you know who we are because you saw us in the title screen.
That was very threatening, wasn't it? I'm the nice one.
I'll accept that, but you guys have all seen the pictures of me being scared of her, so I mean. So what we're going to talk about today is something that really irks me. Not looking disabled enough. So how people perceive you when you say, or when they're talking about disabled, or what's in their mind disability equals.
Yeah.
And how that affects people with different disabilities and how it can block them, how it can affect relationships, how it can affect access to things, how it can affect healthcare, how it can affect them interacting with the world around them, even transportation, all of those things. And even how it can make them feel about themselves. Because if someone is denying you who you are, like, you then start to doubt yourself. If every time you're like, oh no, well actually I've got a disability, like, and someone's like, no you don't.
It's like, I can't see anything wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong
usually.
with you.
And then you have to go through this process of trying to prove that you are disabled. It's like, hold on, let me show you this crazy scar. No.
Let me prove it to you. Oh, but what if you don't have a disability that's visible?
Exactly. Able-bodied people just giving you a look and an air of, let me see that limp, girl. Limp for me so I know it's real. And you're just kind of like, not everybody has a visible disability.
Yeah.
I mean, we both do have visible disabilities because Kim uses a wheelchair and I use a leg brace and 2 crutches. But sometimes when people see us sitting down, I know certainly for me, because I've had jobs where I'm behind a big desk. So you just see the top half of me and the top half of me looks, quotation marks, normal. So then when I get up and people see that I'm disabled, they do this. Oh, it's like, oh, I had no idea you were disabled. Ouch, that looks like that hurts. Why would that look like that hurt? You've been talking to me for 20 minutes. At no point did I say ouch. How did that change when I stood up and you could see my disability? So there's a lot of dumb comments, really.
I think so. And I think the other thing to be aware of is that when you are in the world and people have ideas in their head about what disabilities should look like. So like, for example, there are some people with disabilities who aren't in wheelchairs, who aren't using crutches. And it's like people are like, oh, well, you know,
it doesn't count.
It doesn't count then, because in my mind, someone disabled is dragging themselves across the floor with no limbs.
Against all odds.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
or like someone disabled shouldn't be able to communicate with me. So the fact that, as you were saying, when you're sitting down, someone is communicating with you, and they're like, oh no, but how can you be disabled? Because you can talk.
Yeah. And then there's an expectation of your intelligence being diminished because you're disabled. So then when you can give as good as you get, like in terms of general knowledge, but then also in terms of being witty, being funny or whatever, they're just kind of like, bitch, hold on, let me see your papers.
Yeah. Let's prove it. And it happens even with me, like I drive, and sometimes when you're parked, people, I've talked about this on my Instagram actually, people then will kind of want to verify that you have a blue badge and then think that you're trying to defraud the system because they're like, yeah, but where's the proof? I'm like, but my wheelchair's just literally behind me. Yeah. But that's none of your business. That's none of their business. But as far as they're concerned, looking at me, it's like, but you just answered me, and so therefore you don't need a blue badge. You're driving. You don't need a blue badge.
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
Who is coming up to you asking for proof? Because I feel like you guys know who it is, but
it's usually white people. I'm not going to lie. It's usually white people coming up to me asking me if I
have a badge,
or telling me that I don't deserve to be where I am, or telling me I'm trying to defraud the system and need to go back to my country and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you know, Kim being the uppity black woman that she is, they don't like it.
No, they don't.
They don't like it. She will give as good as she gets, and they're like,
girl. And I'm not necessarily gonna swear at you. I'm not gonna, but you will.
But you don't even need to for them to feel a certain way.
Well, no, but I guess what I'm saying is, in terms of giving as good as I get, is just that, like, if you come for me, I will come for your ancestors, but you will feel it
Snatch
in your
them.
soul. Do you know what I mean? But I'll smile. when I do it. Sometimes, although one time I got so angry I couldn't speak because that's how my anger manifests. Anyway, the other
my
thing
anger doesn't manifest like that. When I get angry, unfortunately for me, I start to cry. And then crying makes me even angry, which makes me cry more. And then I'm just like,
I feel those ones. I feel those ones. But now because, you know, I've got an icebox where my heart used to be, I don't cry anymore.
got an icebox where my heart used to. Remember that, Amarion.